Okay, with this strategy here, we still hint in at multiples, but we also are going through these here looking for mountains. Okay, so like for instance, this right here is a mountain. See all these red, green, all coming down there below the mid. That means when it comes up, usually it's going to push up with a lot of force. So that's what we were looking for. So I was looking for these here, scrolling down and just looking for what I call low-hanging mountains. Because a lot of times when it's a bunch of them, it's going to push up heavy, and we're going to get in. So I'm going to let this play, and I'm going to hit like say for instance, if this comes up right here and it pushes up with a strong green, I kind of let the green kind of bounce down a little bit, and then I hit in with multiples, or I wait to like say if one green pops up here, a candle, and then the next one be red, and then I wait to see if it's going to push back up with a strong green. So I was able to do this strategy here, and I think this one was I showed what the outcome was with this one from start once we let it play. So we'll just let it play right now. Just watch. Okay, right now we take a look down there. Red started building up there. Okay, so it's dropping down red. So then I put in multiple, and as you can see, I got 192, 192, and 480. Just from that right there, because after the mountains go up, usually they come down heavy too. And then when another mountain forms, then it kind of push up. These are what I call a mountain. This is a top mountain because it's above the momentum. And so even up in that right there being played right there, I started off at 1041 with 3251. Okay, that's what I started off at, 1041. And now you see at 1113, which is about 32 minutes, I'm up to 6062. And then you do the math with that, and that's basically on 32 minutes. Let me get to the calculator here. I got it on there. That's how much it was in 32 minutes. 2,811. And I like this strategy because it's very precision oriented, because you're just basically getting in when the big moves are happening, and you can kind of sort through when they are happening. Okay, because again, I'll show you this here again. Let me just even go back to here and I'll let it play some. See, I could tell a big mountain is forming because these are down below. See, green is building up right there. Okay, now all I'm doing is waiting to see which way it's about to go here. Okay. You don't have to get in right here. You want to get in when you know for sure. See, you see how that right there is? I get in right in there. See? Some of those was wins, some of those was lost. But either way about it is that it is, that one slightly lost from that particular move right there, because it was at 46.25, but it only lost maybe about 60 there. So there, right now, when it dropped down to the red zone, see how it dropped down from there? 480, 192. Those were gains. Now, from 459.99.59, I jumped up to 48.31. That was almost a $300 or maybe about 270 move that I just then happened right there. So it's a lot of, like I say, when you got big mountains, at some point, the big mountains, when they hang down low like this, at some point, it's going to bounce back up. And so I would be going through these here, looking for big mountains. These are big mountains down here, because usually they push up heavy, and then all you got to do kind of just wait. Look how this happened from after the reds happened here. Look at all these green that happened. And then when it pushes back down, I got in at the red right here. And see, that's where I got in there, because it pushed up, and then next, it pushed back down heavy too. And like I say, from this right here, it is very precise, based off just looking for the big mountains and then what happens after them. you know. And then all it takes is really like even like here where you see it green, and then you want to see as if it's building. A lot of times you have to wait. See, most people would have got in right here, which you possibly could have got in right there. But I really want to confirm it because I want this red line to move up higher. I want things to move up higher before I'm really convinced that it's going green. Because just as well as it grew up like this right here, it could have shot back down, and then you've been losing money. Now this red right here looked at almost good there when I seen that one there. But like again, does take practice or study. See how the red line is going up closer and closer? And so then I got in a few times there, and as you see, that one won. Sometimes with these when I found out before, I used to get in like maybe here, but look how low the red line is from the mid. Usually that means it still got a lot of red in there that could drop it down. So that's why I learned to not get in right here. I would wait to see what happened. See, that went down, and I wait to see if it continued to climb up. So right there, it did push up right there. And I think that's the one I was able to get in on. Let me see, or unless I got in on the red, but I think that might have been the green one I got in. Find the pointer here. We'll go back. Okay, again. See, here are all the mountains down there. Green push up. Before used to get in so far up in here, then it should have dropped down red because this red price line usually got to be up higher for it to really be a nice strong green. That's why you had this, like I said, you had the green pop up and then the red had dropped right back into there, you know, simply because the red signal line is still below the momentum, which means that it's still going to push down with red. So right here, let me watch again. Okay. We just watch here. The grain is building up, and now it's waiting to see if it's going to push up right there, but it didn't, so it dropped back down, so I didn't worry about it. See, right there, that one right there really could have been a bounce back and then shot up, and I would have been able to get in there. So I'm just letting it just continue to play out because I still feel a green push is coming. So a lot of time it'll climb up like this, drop down, then it'll push up again. And now look at that one. It looked like it was about to push up some, so that's why I put a few in there. And I got 292 from there because I had a feeling that it was going to bounce down and push down because the red line now is closer up to the mid area versus being down low here. That red line does make a difference. Okay. And then we'll see another one. And then what I do, like I said, I go through here and then I see, if I see mountains like this building, that's what I call a mountain. Look at that. That means it's going to, at some point, going to push up. And when it do finally get up, it's going to be a nice amount of green coming in. And then when the green comes, that's when I capitalize on the green. And then a lot of times when the green just finishes up, it'll drop back down. See how the green's up here? And then usually when it finishes up, it drops red. So you can catch it again on the red. A nice greens, and then usually it's a bunch of red. Like even right here, it's the greens and then reds, you know. So that's usually the pattern, but it's usually most effective when you get big green you have big mountains like this down here first, you know. And then usually the push usually up usually be kind of great too. So right now I'm trying to capture this red right there. Okay. And I put in multiples of those in. Some of those are in at half. They go one win, another win, another win, another win, double win. And so that all kind of worked out. Whenever the waves, whenever you get in at multiples like that, usually, like I said, you're going to get more wins than losses, especially when it's going in your favor. But again, that needs to be practiced. And like I say, this is what I got, like I say, what started off with. But this strategy right here, I mean, it's just, it's a pretty good strategy simply because you're not just randomly throwing in, you're capitalizing on multiple different charts, and you check in here to see, you click it on that, click it on different ones, and then seeing where that MACD is versus sitting there looking at just one chart. Before I would just look at one chart, but now you could go and look at multiple ones and just capitalize on that.